Hey everybody, welcome to Agent Gateway community meeting. Apologize for missing last week. I saw somebody put a comment in there. Um, I think today is a very exciting day for Agent Gateway with the new release. I don't know, does anybody want to talk about the new release with the 2.2 release?
Yeah, I guess I can. So the K-Gate or Agent Gateway 2.2, like for the Kubernetes side, just got released today. It's been, if you're using Agent Gateway, I probably told you for the past 2 months that it would be next week. This time it finally happened. So that is basically the first release in I think like 3 or 4 months, which covers like a very, very substantial portion of the development on Agent Gateway. Oh no, we are recording. Never mind. They moved the icon. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. That has like, I mean, everything in the last 4 months. It has all the new APIs. It has all the new naming, decoupling it from K-Gateway. So everything's like Agent Gateway system. The control plane's called Agent Gateway. All the policies are agentgateway.dev. And yeah, if you're on 2.1, like we have a migration guide. I very strongly encourage you to get on 2.2 because 2.1 is like legacy. I know it's been only a few months, but it's the AI space, so it was quick. That's about it. I mean, the details of all the notes and stuff you can find on the release, but that's the high level.
Yeah, thank you, John. I'm excited too because I actually just moved my cluster to 2.2 today. It takes like a few seconds for me. And I think what's really nice is the proxy was auto restarted for me too. Um, I guess I do have a question. So the moment I moved, I think I was on 2.2 was main, which is one of the development drive. And the moment I moved to 2.2, the gateway proxy will all restarted for me and to pick up 2.2. Now, is that the best practice we want people to do? Or like in my case, wasn't a big deal because I was on my own cluster, like I'm the only one using it, so it wasn't a problem when the proxy gets restarted. But I started wondering if do we have any guidance for people? Is that the right way we want people to migrate? Just update the control plane, which would automatically update the data plane.
Yeah, I mean, at least right now, we very much encourage them to be in lockstep. Like you can't not have them be in lockstep. So the migration guide shows how you can decouple the process if you need to for more like smoother migration or slower migration. Um, but yeah, the default is that it just updates everything.
Okay, cool. Also, we do have a migration guide. Oh, I see. This is very nice too. We have
Yeah,
a
that's migrated from Ingress. Yeah,
yeah.
migrating from 2.1 is a different doc somewhere.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know we had doc for that. I was just going through my instant to update it. Awesome. I'll try to find it later on. Oh, anybody else wants to share anything else on the release? Important feature to highlight?
We migrated to 2.2 so that we could use the MCP authentication authorization policies. So we could set that, set that in the as a policy in K-Gateway. So previously we were using the config map. And it seems to be working pretty well for us right now. So.
That's awesome. That's a great reason to move to 2.2. So Thomas, thank you for weighing on that. All right. Does anybody have any other topics besides the release? Art, is there anything worth mentioning on the dark side?
Well, for the Kubernetes docs, like you see, we have them here. I'll check on a lot of the agent gateway related stuff from like 2.1 to 2.2 differences was in the K gateway side, I think, because it was previously in K gateway. So we do not have 2.1. Like that was not migrated over to this agentgateway.dev site because we just wanted to start fresh moving forward with 2.2 and onwards. But I'll check. We might have like a blog or something. The other thing that I was going to say is that we used to have a section in this doc set called local, which was for the binary. We just renamed that to standalone, just so that it was kind of clearer that it's not just for like your local computer environment, that you could use it like standalone in other types of environments as well. So a kind of a minor update, but it affects like the URLs and such. There are redirects and whatnot in place. Yeah.
By the way, thanks for that update. And I just saw the most exciting update on the doc, which is
Oh.
AI.
Yes, the Ask AI button. Yes, so this is like a feature. I think we just merged it today. And so if you want to give it a try out, let us know if you see anything weird. You can attach different doc pages as context. I think there's a limit to maybe like 3. So it's probably a helpful feature for kind of like if you don't want to read all the pages and just want to ask it questions or like a more advanced search, give it a whirl.
That's awesome. This is so exciting to see. Is the logic works like if it can find the contents in the doc, it would refresh, it would get the contents from the doc first, and then if it doesn't, it would try to ask a large language model.
Yeah, I think in the back end, we kind of index the docs based on like the version and the site. So like you see how you've got Kubernetes in the lower right. If you wanted to ask up questions about the standalone, you could like use that drop down in the chat box to change it to the standalone so that, you know, like the configs would look different or whatnot. And then, yeah, it asks a model if it can't find what's going on in the doc.
Oh, this is really cool. Thanks so much. Very exciting.
Yeah, this is mostly Renor, so shout out to him.
Yeah, awesome. Really happy to see this landed. Yeah. Does anybody else wants to give any update? All right. If not, one thing I do want to update, let me stop sharing and share my entire screen. So Yuva, I don't think Yuva is on the line, right? So tomorrow is an interesting, Saturday is an interesting holiday. So Yuva actually built up an application, which I got deployed. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? No? Sorry, I just shared my entire screen, so I wasn't sure. Okay, perfect. So I just got the application deployed. So we are actually going to write a little bit of contents around it. So the application showcase of Agent Gateway working with external authorization. External auth, I guess it's auth server, and it also have a friendly UI from the browser and also a QR code. So the way it works is actually really, really simple. Where you install Agent Gateway, so we want to publish this to have a fun game for people to play with, and then you apply the config map along with a Kubernetes YAML file, which deploy a bunch of things. I kind of have it deployed in my cluster. So it deploys this external auth gateway, which is the agent gateway. It deploys the external server. And I already have port forwarding enabled in my environment. So when I hit the external auth gateway here, it actually would goes to, I'm actually going to a new window so you can see it afresh. So this is port forwarding to 8805, if I'm correctly. And it's actually going to show you also authorization status. And what's interesting here is the request didn't come through yet. And to enable the request to come through, what I'm going to do here is I can view the log. So if I click this out, I can view the log from the auth server. And then point my phone, which hopefully you can all see it right here. So I'm going to point my phone to this QR code, if you guys can see it. And when I visit the request here, and hopefully it's going to send me approval request on my phone so I can approve these messages. It's going to send me 5 requests. I think the first one is a love letter because we're having Valentine's on Saturday. And the second one is a heart, if I can approve that. The third one is also a spreadsheet for Valentine's. The third one is, I'm actually not sure what it is, but we're going to fix that on the request page so it's clear what it is. The last one is roses. So once I approve all the requests, maybe I only approved the 4. Okay, I thought I approved the 5. All right, but once you approve, you can see which requests I approve. Maybe my finger declined on 5. I don't remember. But anyhow, the goal is as the user allow or deny, it would reflect on the UI and kind of tell people, the Valentine's resources and how it works. So it's a fun game to enable people to stand up Agent Gateway, the application, the auth server, and play with it for fun. I saw a hand. Swipe to left for 403.
Does it have the swipe action? I know you've always talking about adding it.
I actually, the swipe doesn't work that well on my phone. So like I'm only able to approve and decline. He kept talking about swipe. I think maybe because he wasn't using iPhone. So yeah. So yeah, would love you all to try it, but most importantly for the community member to try it to just kind of let us, sending this fun game for them on Valentine's Day. So that's what I want to share quickly. All right.
Can we get the link to that in the?
Oh yeah, the app, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good
In
if you
the
all
chat.
try it. Actually, there may be a bug, John. So what I find out, if I will try it again. So what I find out is if I use the latest, if I use the build in Mexico, well, the alpha build of 12 you sent to me, it actually had a problem with the approval requests popping up. And when I go back to the default Agent Gateway build that comes with 2.2 release, which I believe is the 11, that works fine. So I just haven't tried the official 12 builds yet, but I know the alpha build had a problem, just in case if anybody tried it.
So you're saying use .11?
Yeah, whatever is the default with K-Gateway Agent, the K-Gateway 2.2 official release, that one works. We know that for sure. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thanks for the interest. Anything else we should be discussing? Is there anything we want to share what's coming to the next few weeks regarding Agent Gateway?
Yeah, one big thing. So we in 2.2 we split out from the user perspective, Agent Gateway and K Gateway. So you won't see, well, for the most part, you won't see anything about K Gateway when you go through like Helm charts and the CRDs and that sort of thing. We're working on splitting out the repo as well. So the development side is all split out and kind of completely decoupling from K Gateway. That way it's its own standalone project, Agent Gateway. We'll have one consistent version for the local on Kubernetes, which will be hopefully targeting 1.0. And hopefully that will just make things smoother. We initially bootstrapped on the K Gateway controller because it has a lot of nice commonalities, but we found that we ended up actually not using any of the commonalities. And it was basically like 2 projects in one repo, which was a bit awkward. So we'll be moving that out. Like I said, in 2.2, most, if not all, of the user-facing stuff already happened. So it should be pretty minimal churn unless you're, submitting PRs to the project directly.
Thanks for that heads up. So you mentioned about 1.0, I got confused. Is it the thinking that after the repo split out, the agent gateway would follow like 1.0 schema for versioning?
Yeah, we kind of had a problem because the Kubernetes version was tied to the K Gateway version, which made it like 2.2. But then we have the local build that's 0.12. And so it felt odd to have Agent Gateway go to, 0.12 to v2.3 or v3 or something. So we decided to kind of just reset. Well, we not really fully decided. We have until we do the release to decide. But to go to v1.0, we, outside of this change anyways, we wanted to go 1.0 around this time frame as we started to stabilize basically everything in the proxy. And it will be a bit weird for the current users that go from v2.2 to v1.0, admittedly. But I think, that's a one-time pain now that impacts our early adopters. And it's not really pain. It's just like, and then you're like, okay, whatever, hopefully. And then we'll just set us up long-term to be on kind of something that makes sense. So.
Yeah, that makes sense because I'm thinking for the upgrade, it would be the same except mentally the version decrease. But you would just apply the new YAML with the right version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for that. Anybody else wants to share anything? Does anybody have any questions? Thomas, is there any other feature you are looking at leverage in 2.2 that wasn't in 2.1? I think you touched on the config map, which was very interesting.
So one of the things that we've been doing is that we have our own like policy store, and we've been wanting to use that to do like authorization for MCP servers, right? And I know there's XDOT, but we also want to eventually maybe do more complicated things like filtering out tools when you do this tool calls and stuff like that. So there's that open work item for adding an external MCP processing service, like a gRPC service. So we have some stuff working locally, and I was thinking maybe I'll just validate our approach on that issue there. So maybe post what we are doing and see if that makes sense. And if it does make sense, and maybe if you're open to contributions, then maybe we can try and submit a patch for that. I'm talking about the external this issue here. Let me post it.
Wait, is this related to this thing on the screen about mini LM L6 or just unrelated?
No, it's not related to that.
Okay, sorry, I got confused. Okay, yeah, this one makes sense. Okay.
With XAuth, if you have like a multiplexed, if you have multiple MCP servers behind the route, like will Can you use XDOT to like filter out individual MCP, like authorize individual MCP servers? Does it know like the backend that the auth request is coming from?
With the current XDOT, they're not really going to be able to filter out tools, not
Okay.
directly anyhow. Like you could return from the XDOT server, say like a list of tools that then the normal local authorization rules used. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're not going to like get the tools and then filter them unless we implement this PR, right? Because the auth runs at the request time, and we don't know what the tools are at that point, right? So
Right. So
Right.
you have those like the request and the response are MCP objects, right? And basically you want to have like protobuf versions of those and then translate that request and response. That's what I think. That's what we are doing. I'm assuming maybe that's what we have, and then we can discuss it on this issue. Yeah, so we use Apache Ranger just internally, and the way we have it is we have this external MCP process GRP service defined that we added as a policy, and then that calls our Ranger sidecar to actually check if a user has access to our MCP server.
And I assume in your case, it's not simply check whether the user have access to the MCP server. You want to also add to the logic of whether the user have access to that MCP server along with this particular tool provided by the server.
Yeah, eventually we want to do it at the tool level. Right now, our policies don't support that, but that's what we want to do eventually.
Okay, got it. John, or anybody else, do you see this as a reasonable request for the Agent Gateway open source?
yeah, no, I think it makes sense. Like we've discussed this in the past. I think we just need to figure out how, like the details on how we're going to do it. But I definitely think it makes sense. It's a very common request.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So Thomas, would you be interested in maybe present the next step to the community, whether it's putting more thoughts onto this, or maybe
Yeah, I'll add like up the protocol
okay.
service that we have, and then our approach, and see what people think.
Thank you for bringing this up. Sounds good. All right. I think we are almost about the time. Does anybody else have anything wants to bring up? If not, I'll see you all next week. Thank you.